In the heart of a bustling American city, where skyscrapers kissed the clouds and neon lights painted the night, lived Jamal, a man whose life was a quiet symphony of struggle and hope. At 42, he was a janitor at a downtown office building, his hands calloused from years of mopping floors and scrubbing desks. His small apartment in a worn-out neighborhood was barely furnished, a creaky bed, a second-hand table, and a single photo of his late wife, Aisha, whose smile still warmed his heart. Jamal's days were long, but his spirit was longer, fueled by a belief that kindness could outshine even the darkest moments. One frigid December evening, as snow dusted the streets, Jamal trudged home, his thin coat doing little against the biting wind. His stomach growled. He hadn't eaten since a stale bagel at breakfast. Payday was a week away, and his fridge held only a half-empty jar of mustard and a wilted carrot. Still, he hummed a tune Aisha used to love, his breath forming clouds in the air. As he passed an alley near his building, a faint sound stopped him, a soft, trembling sob. Peering into the shadows, Jamal spotted a small figure huddled against a dumpster, clutching a tattered blanket. It was a boy, no older than 10, his face smudged with dirt, his eyes wide with fear and hunger. The boy's sneakers were torn, and his jacket was far too thin for the winter chill. Jamal's heart clenched. He approached slowly, crouching to the boy's level. "Hey, little man," Jamal said gently, his voice warm like a hearth. "What's your name?" The boy flinched, then whispered, "Eli." "Eli? Huh? That's a strong name. You out here all alone?" Eli nodded, his lips quivering. "My mom, she's gone. Been gone a while. I got nowhere to go." Jamal's chest tightened. He knew the city's shelters were often full, and the streets were no place for a child. Without a second thought, he unzipped his coat and draped it over Eli's shoulders. "Come with me. I ain't got much, but I got a warm place and something to eat." Eli hesitated, his eyes searching Jamal's face for a trick. But there was only kindness there, steady and true. He followed Jamal to the apartment, his small steps crunching in the snow. Inside, the apartment was barely warmer than the alley, but it was safe. Jamal sat Eli at the table and rummaged through his cabinets. The carrot and mustard stared back mockingly. Then he remembered the corner store down the street. He'd been saving a crumpled $5 bill for his own groceries, but now it had a new purpose. "Stay here, Eli. I'll be right back," Jamal said, pulling on an old sweater and heading out. At the store, he bought a loaf of bread, a small jar of peanut butter, and a single apple, the most he could afford. Back home, he made Eli a sandwich, spreading the peanut butter thick to fill the boy's hollow stomach. Eli devoured it, his eyes brightening with each bite. Jamal sliced the apple and placed it in front of him, smiling as Eli crunched happily. "You don't want some?" Eli asked, holding out a slice. Jamal's stomach rumbled, but he shook his head. "Nah, I'm good. You eat up." That night, Eli slept on Jamal's bed, wrapped in every blanket Jamal owned. Jamal curled up on the floor, his sweater as his only cover, his hunger a sharp ache. But as he listened to Eli's soft breathing, a warmth spread through him, richer than any meal. The next morning, Jamal called a social worker he knew from his church, Miss Clara, who promised to find Eli a safe place. While they waited, Jamal took Eli to a community center where volunteers served hot meals. Eli ate eagerly, but Jamal only sipped water, claiming he'd eaten earlier. The lie came easily. Eli's smile was worth it. Days passed, and Jamal's life wove around Eli's. He worked extra shifts to buy the boy clothes and a backpack, skipping his own meals to save every cent. Neighbors noticed Jamal's thinner frame but said nothing, respecting his quiet pride. Eli, though, began to see the truth. One evening, as Jamal handed him a bowl of soup, bought with the last of his cash, Eli pushed it back. "You ain't eating," Eli said, his voice firm. "I know you're hungry." Jamal chuckled, but his eyes were tired. "I'm fine, little man." Eli crossed his arms. "No, you ain't. You gave me everything, and you got nothing. That ain't right." The words hit Jamal like a wave. He sat down, his legs heavy. "Eli, when I saw you in that alley, I saw a kid who needed help. My mama always said, if you got a little, give a little. I ain't got much, but I got enough to share." Eli's eyes welled up. "But you're starving." Jamal reached out, ruffling Eli's hair. "Not starving. Just waiting my turn." That night, Miss Clara called with news. A foster family wanted to meet Eli, a couple with a kind home and a big heart. Jamal felt a pang, joy mixed with loss. Eli had become a shadow, his laughter filling the empty spaces Aisha had left. But Jamal knew this was Eli's chance at a real future. The day Eli left, he hugged Jamal tightly, his small arms fierce. I'm gonna be like you someday, Eli whispered. I'm gonna help people. Jamal grinned, his throat tight. You already are, little man. Alone again, Jamal returned to his routine, his apartment quieter than ever. Hunger still gnawed, but payday was close. Then, one evening, a knock came at his door. He opened it to find Miss Clara, her arms full of grocery bags. Behind her stood neighbors, co-workers, even the corner store clerk, all carrying food, clothes, and blankets. Eli told us what you did, Miss Clara said, her eyes soft. How you fed him, clothed him, gave him your bed while you went hungry. This city's got a lot of noise, Jamal, but your heart's the loudest thing in it. Jamal stood frozen, his eyes burning. The neighbors filled his kitchen with supplies, their voices warm with gratitude. The clerk handed him a free coffee card, saying, "You're family now." For the first time in years, Jamal felt seen, not as a janitor or a widower, but as a man who'd chosen kindness over self. That night, Jamal ate a full meal, his table groaning under the weight of shared abundance. He looked at Aisha's photo, her smile brighter than ever. "We did good, love," he murmured, his heart full. Word of Jamal's deed rippled outward. A local charity started a fund in his name, helping others like Eli. Eli's foster parents sent photos showing the boy thriving, his backpack now filled with dreams. And Jamal? He kept working, kept humming, kept giving a little whenever he could. Because in a world of fleeting lights, he knew the truth. A single act of selflessness could spark a warmth that warmed the world.